In question 8, a student investigates whether a spring obeys Hooke's law. So, firstly, what is Hooke's law? Hooke's law formula F equals kx. F as a force, k is a spring constant, x is the extension. So the relation between the force and extension, which is directly proportional, as the applied force increases, the extension increases. She uses the apparatus shown in the photograph, and which additional measuring instrument does the student need for the investigation? The correct answer for this one must be the meter rule or meter ruler to measure the extension. We have some accepted answers according to the mark scheme, like set square, tape measure, digital calipers, and we have to ignore meter stick. Section B, explain how the students can investigate whether the spring obeys Hooke's law. So I already attached the diagram. Here at the right side, we have a ruler, spring, fiducial mark, weight, clamp stand. And by the way, the fiducial mark here, it can be added to improve the accuracy and precision of the length measurements. So firstly, I want to find the relation between F and X. The more force or more applied force or weight applied attached to the free end here, which is directly proportional to the extension. So firstly, I need to measure the original length of the spring. And I have to use this one, which using a meter rule. I will get 1 mark for this one. Then, if I'm adding a known, for example, weights or loads, and here, or for example, mass or masses, after adding the weight or the load, the spring will extend. So I have to measure again the extended length with loads or weights. So I get 3 marks. If I'm going to repeat for range of values of loads, I can get 1 mark here. Or for the experimental data, for example, use pointer for as a fiducial marker. I'm trying to look from a perpendicular position to reduce parallax error and repeat and take the average as well. So for recording data, I will get 3 marks, but the examiner is asking to show like other skills. Like for example, extension. For example, how can I calculate the extension? So here we need to calculate the extension, which is simple by x equals L minus L0. Extension in physics equal the extended length while adding loads minus original length. So I get mark for this. I want to apply Hooke's law. The Hooke's law is the relation between, or the direct proportionality between the force and extension. So which is preferable to plot what? A graph, and this graph of the extension, and remember the extension in meter, and you have to say against the force, which is measured in Newton. Plot the data on the graph. What you should get, the graph here must be or should be a straight line. And what else? You will get the gradient. So the gradient here, or the slope, or delta y over delta x, is going to be what? The spring constant, which is the change of F divided by change in extension. And you can draw for the examiner, like extension in meter, and the applied force on the y-axis as Newton, and you draw a straight line passing through the origin. So the gradient is the change in y, which is delta f, divided by change on x along the x-axis. So the gradient is the constant value of the spring constant. So here the extension graph should pass through the origin. The force at the end is directly proportional to the extension. You will get marks for these. And by the end, we try as much we can to use the effective keywords. For example, measure and add known weights, measure the extension, calculate the extension, plot the graph. The graph must be a straight line. The gradient is what?